because I failed at many job interviews before. So we said, what is your standard of success for this job interview? Is it for you to get the job? So if you don't get the job, does that mean you failed? And in reality, he had no experience as a CEO before. He set a really high bar for himself, and it's very likely that the board might have had predetermined preferences. So his standard for what it means to succeed and his standard and understanding of failure was based on something personal and truly emotional, but it was not based on something reasonable in terms of his track record. So when he redefined what it meant, he didn't get the job. When he redefined what it meant for him to succeed, he actually overcame the fear itself and found no problem getting into the process of applying in the first place. Sometimes we don't take steps because we are our greatest obstacles. Sometimes our fear ends up preventing us from things that we would never otherwise accomplish. Think about the cost in your life, the cost of inaction. Not knowing, could I have succeeded? Could I have accomplished? What if I had tried again? So redefining failure, understanding that success is that which follows. So anytime you fall short, try again and try better. Number 2, reflect on Allah's decree and seeking help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because as believers, when something happens to us, we are not responsible for it. We are responsible for how we respond. You cannot control the things that happen to you. You cannot control the qadr, the decree that befell you. But you can certainly control how you feel about it and how you process it and how you will respond to it. And this is why the very first thing the believer says when something happens, قَدَّرَ اللَّهُ وَمَا شَاءَ فَعَلْ, or إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ, to Allah we belong and to Him is our return. We do not control the things that befall us, but you can certainly control and you are held accountable for how you respond to these things. Seek help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number 3, the fear of failure and the strong emotions that we feel at times are okay. Oftentimes when people think, I have a strong fear of failure, so I don't try, I don't leave my comfort zone, they assume that because there are strong emotions that they should not try or that there's something bad about this situation. But emotions like guilt or shame or fear can actually be extremely powerful. Because when you have these strong emotions, they are, in other words, a type of alert, a type of warning, a reminder, pay attention, something important is bothering you, something is affecting you, something is requiring your attention, and perhaps if you channel it in the proper way, that fear itself, those emotions, they can end up being the catalyst for the action itself, the action of resolution, the action of correcting something, the action of trying again. Maybe 721 times. So don't feel that feeling bad about failure is problematic. Number 4, if it matters to you and you feel that your fear is hindering your success in life, then give it its attention and its time in terms of planning. Strategize. How do you strategize when it comes to the fear of failure? Number 1, with regards to strategy, a lot of studies show that when people set approach goals rather than avoidance goals, they are more likely to be successful. What are approach goals? Approach goals are when you think of your objective in terms of what you want and how you feel about accomplishing something. Whereas an avoidance goal is for you to want to get something done for the sake of avoiding something harmful. As believers, we have an equilibrium and a balance of both. That our approach goal for the afterlife is Jannah. It is to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is to please Him. At the same time, some of us might struggle with regards to fear of shortcomings, fear of consequences. Having that equilibrium in terms of avoiding punishment, avoiding hardship in this life and the next, helps us to align our goals with our greater objective. So make sure that when you're setting goals, they're not always emphasizing avoiding something. Rather, you're trying to approach or accomplish something. Another example of strategizing, pay attention to the signs. Pay attention to the signs. Pay attention to the signs. We're living in a fast-paced era in which many people are not paying attention. Not just to the signs, they're not paying attention to anything. They're walking on their phones, they're falling into water fountains. They're walking on their phones and they're talking and they're chatting and they're having fun. And then bam, they hit into the wall. Why? Pay attention to the signs. If your friend is driving on the highway and you're sitting in the passenger seat, and a warning sign comes up and it says, caution, danger ahead, caution, accident ahead, caution, slow down, and your friend ignores the first sign, they ignore the second sign, they ignore the third sign, and then bam, consequences. We can't really blame anyone but ourselves in that situation.